Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 3 of EShot Nation. As you can see right now on the middle of your screen, we have a guest host today. His name is Brandon B. Clark, TBE Clark. Brandon, go ahead and just give the viewers kind of a background of yourself and, yeah, just a background and let them know who you are. Sounds like your mic is muted.
Don't think we double checked if Brandon was here.
It looks like he's here. Oh, he ran away. Well, at this time, we are live on YouTube also. So
Are we on Twitch too?
not Twitch, just on YouTube.
Oh, that's why I can't find you. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, we're live streaming over on the EShot Nation page. So as well, this was a little troublesome. We didn't realize Brandon was gone.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Let's get your
here.
screen back up.
Alrighty, hold on. There we go.
Almost.
I'm here.
Okay, there we are. So back to our original topics for right now. Let's Brandon, introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are, your gaming history, and how you got into Call of Duty.
Hey guys, B Clark TBE, Brandon here. Got into Call of Duty. What is it? Beginning of Black Ops 2 through a mutual friend. We all kind of started playing together, and I've kind of carried the torch over the last 3 or 4 years with the Call of Duty interest, and now getting these guys back into it has made me very happy and very excited to play Call of Duty this year and become the best dubs player in the world.
So, in other words, am I safe to say, like, you were the only one to stick through all the shitty CODs? Like, you stuck it through the muck, like, you were there for all the shit that was put down.
I was there until I was there. I played every single game from the start, and then the last 2 games really were IW, or Infinite Warfare, and World War II, and those I think were the worst 2 CODs ever.
With the exception of Ghost.
I actually enjoyed Ghost a lot, but yeah. Exactly.
You enjoyed S&D in Ghost,
yes,
right? That was the only, yes. Other than that, the game was trash. I agree, S&D, that game was fun, yes.
The guns in Infinite Warfare were the absolute worst, and World War II was just horrible from the get-go, coming out with about 9 maps and absolutely no support from the devs. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. And now I'm back, and this Black Ops 4 feels a lot like the older games. It's like a combination of Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, and I'm ready to get started.
It's good. It's good to hear. Glad you stuck with Call of Duty, even though I think the general consensus would be that the last few games were not great. It was from at least a viewer point of view, they weren't very fun to watch, the competitive side, and just kind of playing wise also. I think everyone had high hopes for World War II and really just kind of let you down after that first month. It just became stale and not very fun to play. But new game is out. Black Ops 4 is officially released. Been out a couple days now. We don't have a whole lot to talk about, but we definitely want to talk about first impressions, and then we'll also talk a little bit about the competitive scene in regards to rosters, and kind of we'll list probably our top 3 to 5 power rankings on the teams that have been announced so far. So instead of starting with Brandon, we'll start with Zach. First impressions let's just start with the multiplayer.
I enjoy it. I like the new healing mechanic, probably the most out of everything they've added. I think that adds I don't like it when I'm playing because I forget to heal. But I enjoy it as a spectator because when I'm watching the few streams I've watched, it's very crucial to me to see when a good player heals versus when a not so good player heals. That's what I find interesting. It almost brings it closer to like a micro. Sort of got your big game picture, and now you got your sort of micro, what you can do to improve yourself other than just reloading. That's the big thing that Call of Duty always has, just reloading. Now we have healing. I love it. Other than that, the maps seem solid. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 maps that I'm not a fan of. Other than that, all the maps are great. They're vibrant. They're beautiful maps. The guns, I haven't played with them all. Most of them seem solid. I mean, some adjustments need to be made. That's all in due time. Right now, I think the AR is a bit strong. The subs seem to be a little underwhelming, though. Like I said, I haven't tried them all, so there could be one that's just totally OP that I don't know about.
To piggyback off that, we don't really have usually, well, some games that we have a a clear cut. These are your best couple guns, even from the start. We don't really have that yet. I don't feel like that. We can look at the ICR maybe, but other than that, we don't really know which is the true best sub yet, and we don't really know what is the true best AR yet. Things could change, which I think is crucial for this game.
I mean, it is day 2. I think post this weekend, we'll have an idea of what the pros are going to run as far as like the best 2 ARs, best 2 stubs. But as of right now, yeah, day 2. I mean, everybody's just running what they want, so there is no real, what's the best, what's the worst. But other than that, it's solid. Multiplayer is solid. It's fun. It's enjoyable. I've definitely played more of it than Blackout so far. But other than that, yeah, just great, solid all around. Very little connection issues that I can tell. Since they took the latency factor out of it, since I can't see what bar I'm sitting on, I don't know. I ignore it. But it does seem like sometimes bullets just take extra long to kill people, other than just the extra health on top of it. So.
I like it. Brandon, let's go on to you. Initial thoughts of multiplayer.
I really like it. I mean, I'm still getting used to the whole 5v5 aspect, but the fact that I feel like I'm not playing the same maps over and over again, which is really nice to be able to play public matches and have a different map every time, is awesome. I remember playing World War II. Every other map, you're playing the same map, and just to have that, to have the ability to swim. There's just a lot of in-game things that make this game a lot better than your typical COD, because there is a lot. I feel like this COD is a lot of previous CODs, even other games like Infinite Warfare and other games put together. It's not just all the Black Ops put together, but it's a lot of the good things from previous games as well, which I think it did very good at making a complete game. But I'm still kind of I love that pubs are 5v5 and competitive is 5v5. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know how competitive's gonna work with this 5v5, because it's just gonna be so hectic. But I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. So I will ask you this: favorite gun so far playing multiplayer?
Probably the ICR, definitely.
ICR.
I mean, I feel like I can somewhat kill people short range and long range. There's just not a lot of recoil, and I don't think a lot of people have issues aiming that gun, which I think is good.
Remember the MCR? I think it was for Black Ops 2. Like that gun was just like a laser, but it did no damage. It feels like that gun to me. It feels like it has perfect aim. It just doesn't kill fast enough. Now, compared to the other ARs, I agree. Like, I haven't used them all, but to the ones I have used, it doesn't seem like any of them kill significantly faster. I just feel like once we get it all laid out, that's gonna be the jack of all trades gun, which that's my favorite gun. In this game, I just can't seem to like that gun.
Do you think we could almost see kind of like Black Ops 2, where, I mean, I've used the Auger a little bit, and it definitely feels like the FAL or FAL. Do you think the Auger could take over the ICR at some point before the first tournament?
I'd say ask that same question about the Swordfish.
Yeah, kind of has that M8 feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just say ask that about the whole category, because there's a category of specifically single shot or burst weapons, and that category gun is going to be very hard to balance.
Yeah.
With the 150 health, it should be a little bit easier. But yeah, I am scared. I mean, as of right now, they didn't ban any of those, but the Swordfish definitely just melts through people.
Yeah, maybe having the flinch or the kick worse on that. They're just too accurate. I mean, if for a burst gun to hit every bullet, all you have to do is hit one burst and maybe one more bullet, and the guy's dead. It shouldn't. I think it should be hard to hit that first burst every single bullet, if that makes sense.
I mean, for sure. I mean, I remember, or just noticed kind of yesterday playing GBs with you too, is when you use the Swordfish, like, you only need the one burst and then hope you hit at least one bullet from the second burst, and you're going to kill the guy. And at least the Swordfish, it has a very fast rate of fire. It's not like
maybe slowing down.
maybe having like you can't just spam the trigger, if that makes sense. Like it just seems, and kind of with the auger too is, you could it doesn't really, it's just how fast can you pull the trigger, that's how fast we're going to shoot, it kind of felt like. And that's something I know later in the Black Ops 2 season they definitely nerfed that part of the gun. So I mean, going forward,
gun, if we remember, that gun wasn't even that gun was put in a coffin. It was not used after they nerfed it.
Exactly.
I don't like completely shutting a gun out of the game. I like having it at least like valuable, at least, you know, as like a trick play or like a cheese play, you know, bringing out the foul and people not expecting it, you know. I don't like just putting a gun in a coffin and just not using it ever again. I think
that's a staple of the COD franchise, though, with competitive. I mean, you look at it, like, really the only time you see a cheese pick come out is when a certain player would do that. Rambo would bring out the MP7, and he thought it was a great gun. I mean, COD's always been, these are the best guns, this is what you run.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a little bit of variance, but usually not. I do agree, though, there should not be a staple in the coffin. There should not be, hey, this gun is dead because we either don't like the way it works with it being a single shot, semi-auto, just spam your trigger, or if it gets nerfed too hard. There should be a balance in there where, like you said, maybe it should be really good. Maybe it should be pull the trigger as fast as you want, but that damage has to go down, or the distance, or like the accuracy up close has to go down. Something has to change, so it's not just a powerhouse, and it's not outslaying the guns that should be sort of taking that medium range.
So at least so far, and obviously it's only, the game's been out officially for one day. It came out technically yesterday, but a lot of the competitive scene, like Brandon said, has been running the ICR. Do you think we will almost have a situation where it's Black Ops where everyone just runs the FAMAS essentially, or do you think there will be, and I think Treyarch does a good job, but do you think they will do a good enough job balancing the subs to the ARs?
I don't see that right now. I think the ARs are way more powerful than the subs. When I feel like I can beat a sub up close with an ICR, then I know the subs aren't as powerful. I don't really have a problem with any of the subs. I just haven't found a sub where I'm like, that's the one I like, and that's the one that I think is better than everyone else. And that's it's always been like that with the subs in Treyarch games, right? Though.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think if you go to Black Ops 2, you really had the MSMC or the Scorpion. Or in Hardpoint Scorpion, yeah. I think, I mean, I don't even remember Black Ops 3 to be honest. But I feel, at least in Black Ops 2, I thought there was enough of a balance where you could take the sub and be okay. Whereas, yeah, Keo, go for it.
I was just gonna say, Black Ops 2 is what defined the role of you're an AR, you're a sub. I mean, Black Ops 1, there was the FAMAS, and that's all it was.
Yeah.
That's where that came from. Black Ops 2, the MSMC was the most popular gun in the subclass. Like, that's what every team had, someone running an MSMC. I mean, without doubt. The M8 was probably the most popular AR in my opinion. But I mean, there was definitive good and bad guns in both categories. And that's how it is for most COD. Most COD games you do see, usually you see a sub. Like, I mean, even in Black Ops, the AK-74G was considered to be like the second best gun in the game. But the margin between that and the FAMAS was so great that the FAMAS just outshined. I don't think the ICR is gonna be a problem. With going back to what you said, do you think that is Treyarch gonna balance it? Of course. I think we'll see patches roll out. They always do this every year. They'll change something. They'll tweak stuff. And with that 150 health, they have so much more room. That 50 health adds so much more room for them to tweak guns and change it. And with blackout being such a constantly updated thing, there's no doubt in my mind that multiplayer will get more support than ever this year with updates and patches. And it should be no problem. Subs should be relevant in the next week or two, in my opinion.
Do you guys feel like when you're an AR that you'll get really, really close to killing a submachine gun, and they'll have like maybe upwards or downwards of, you know, 8 to 10 health or 8 to 20 health, and then the sub beats you maybe by one bullet? Or do you guys? I've had that happen at least 5 or 6 times now, where I've had an AR, thought I was gonna kill someone, and them have like 2 or 3 health at the end, and I think making that gap a little bit wider. Really? Okay.
I don't know. I think in search it's happened, but at least in the objective modes, I don't think so. At least hardpoint wise, I've been messing around with that anchor spot, and as long as I hit my shots, the sub isn't killing me at
I-
distance.
no, I
But
guess what I'm saying is up close.
up close, yeah, subs are beating me. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, that's expected too. You would hope a submachine gun beats an AR
But
up
I
close.
feel like it's too close of a gunfight up close. You know what I'm saying? A sub should pretty
like
so
easily
what-
handedly beat you.
yeah. So
Oh,
what
yeah.
if we made the AR's hip fire worse? I think that's a lot to do with it. Because if an AR's hitting its first 2 bullets, no matter how close you are, you're probably gonna die. So why not make the AR's hip fire worse? So then when you're up close, it's harder to just, you know, hip fire a sub and win.
It's
And
fair.
That's all something they have to look at the stats of. Like we don't have all the numbers
No.
they have. So I mean that could be a good solution. That could also be the complete wrong stat to change what we need changed. It just depends on what Treyarch's information tells them. I do agree that, like I was saying, I'm in that position where I'm a sub running around shooting people, and I get my shots in an AR, and I feel like I got them one shot, and then they kill me somehow, and I'm like, you shouldn't be able to do that from how close you are. I should be winning this gunfight. I'm not missing a bullet, yet you're winning the gunfight just because you have to shoot less bullets, or whatever the case may be. I feel the exact opposite, but I agree it should be a bigger difference.
well, the fact that we're having this argument shows that this game at least is being like the argument on either side has a good case. So the fact that each case
we're arguing the same side. We're arguing that subs need to be buffed, 100%.
yeah. Do subs need to be buffed or do ARs need to be nerfed? I'd say
that goes back to the health thing. Like
Yeah.
what does Treyarch want? How long? Like what is that time to kill that they want? That's what it comes down to.
I do like it. It does feel, the time to kill feels a lot more like Black Ops 2 than it does any other game. The fact that you have to hit at least 4 or 5 bullets to kill someone is gonna make the skill gap that much more, I think, and I think that's only good. Because remember Ghost, that everyone had the vector, and as long as you could hit the first 2 or 3 shots, it doesn't matter how good your aim was. As long as you could hit those first 2 shots, I think having it where you have to have a steady aim for a longer amount of time provides a bigger skill gap, which I really like.
So you like the increased health, the longer kill time. That's what you're saying. You're completely for that.
I am. I just want to at least. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
I am too. I'm 100% behind it. Like it gives Treyarch more room to work, and if that's the case, that'll give us a better game in the end. We just have to get used to that. It's my problem.
So they don't really have to worry about the time to kill. They just have to worry about the gun's stats. That's really the only thing they're gonna have to change now. Tinker with it, right? Or am I wrong?
Well,
on
they're
that?
gonna have to look at time to kill to decide. Well, do we want the time to kill in this game to be shorter or longer? Because if you want it to be shorter, then buff the subs, and then all the time to kills are shorter. But if you want it to be longer, nerf the ARs. But at the same time, I don't think we're gonna see an entire class of ARs get nerfed. It's gonna be 1 or 2 nerfed here, and then 1 or 2 subs buffed.
So that's what makes Call of Duty then, because they only nerf and buff a couple guns from each class. Why wouldn't they buff the whole class?
There's too much to play with.
Yeah,
so
and
many changing stats.
Yeah, and I just think, like you said, Call of Duty only uses a couple guns anyway, so why would they nerf
Well,
them?
I don't think go away from. They've always said that they want to have every gun be viable and competitive. To do that, you can't just nerf a couple guns here and a couple guns there. You're going to set a meta.
Right, but if you nerf, so okay, take the ARs for example, right? Most people are only running the ICR and maybe the Vapor. Well, if you just nerf that whole category of ARs, why wouldn't they just keep on using the ICR and the Vapor? Like, what would make the other guns at that time more viable if they were nerfed just along with the ICR and the Vapor?
You can change the levels of nerf, but then it becomes very confusing.
Yeah,
So
so
my thing about this, because I love this conversation. This is exactly the conversation that I'm hoping the devs at Treyarch are having. Because when you look at a game like Call of Duty, and you look at a game like League of Legends, for example, League of Legends is able to update basically every 2 weeks.
Right.
They're able to change whatever they want about their champions, and they're able to do any of that. They're able to deal with the repercussions. Let's say they change a champion, or in Call of Duty they change a gun, and the repercussions are that champion or gun becomes super OP. League of Legends has a limited amount of time to change that. They don't have a set, hey, our game runs from October to October.
Right.
COD has a game that lasts 1 year, and they can't spend all year going, here's a broken gun, well, now we're going to nerf it. Here's the broken gun, now we're going to nerf it. They have to find that balance, and they have to keep that balance. That's why we don't see them changing. Oh, look, the ICR is really popular right now. Well, I think it'd be cool if the Vapor's popular next month. Let's make that change. They don't do that because they don't have the time to make those changes and then deal with the repercussions. They don't have a play server that's massive people that people will log on, spend hundreds of hours playing, and then they can take the data and they can make those changes into the regular servers.
But what if they do though?
It's
What
not. It's a time thing. They don't have the time, so it's a time.
Do you think that COD will? I guess just a little side thing. We don't have to go on it at all. Do you think this COD has a potential to go longer than 1 year?
I was about to bring that up too.
I think it has to. To grow this game, you have to keep this game.
But we have this talk every single year.
We had this talk after Black Ops 2.
Exactly. And the problem is Activision has a contract with the three. Now, they could do this if they decide to franchise and let it'd be Sledgehammer next, or is it Infinity Ward?
No, Infinity Ward.
Okay, so let Infinity Ward make their game, but if you I agree, you need to keep a game longer than 1 year so they do have the time to do the balancing, like Keo said, because if you only have the 1 year, you're already working on that next game 2 years out.
Exactly. So what happens? Just to put that into perspective, what happens is every year in COD, the game is only good for about a 2 to 3 month span right before champs, or even probably 2 months max right before champs. And then after champs, no one cares about COD, so they go and do their own thing. So
Right.
really, the game takes 4 to 5 months to really get balanced, and by then it's already 5 months into the game, already 6 months into the game, and you only have 6 months left. Champs is 3 months away. You have that 2 or 3 month window that the game is really good. Then after that, no one cares about it because champs over. They've changed champs to the end now, which makes that good. But taking 6 months to get a game balanced, and then restarting in another 6 months, it's never ending cycle. That's never gonna get COD ever
It's
on
COD
a
cycle,
platform.
man. And that's just what COD is, man. If you haven't accepted it, we're late to the party, because that's what COD is. That's how COD works. It's every year the same thing. And that's what makes COD pros COD pros. They have to be adaptive. They have to be able to change what guns they use. They have to be able to change the play style and everything for a whole new game every year. And I mean, it does have it is interesting to those of us that are in the community and like to see the beginning, the roster manias and all that, just like this time of year. Those of us who love this time of year, it's great. That's why we love COD. But from the outside point of view, yeah, it's not good for a total esport.
So you would say then that switching games every year is bad for detrimental for
COD. No, we've always known that.
So let's
drop Infinity War, drop Sledgehammer, have Treyarch pick the game.
So let's say Call of Duty moves into franchising, which is a high chance. Do you think then that they could just say, you know what, we're Infinity Ward, make your game, make a campaign, make a multiplayer, but we're sticking with Black Ops 4 for the next season? It's Keo, you're already shaking your head.
So that's a great thing to say. What if they make a new game for pubs and then just call the COD World League itself just says we're sticking with the same game?
It's the same conversation we had right after Black Ops 2, guys. It's literally the same conversation. We cannot do that. There's the new game coming out will always be the competitive game, because that's where the money is. That's where the advertisement is. That is where the player base is. That's everything. I mean, the only way I could ever see that happening is if literally from competitive to non-competitive to casual players just refuse to play a game, which will never happen for a COD because you have the dedicated COD fans.
World War II was about the closest that came to it, because none of the pros wanted it. None of the pros put out content.
It was a very stale game.
Yeah.
It was not good. Which it is now twice now. Sledgehammer has done something that the community just seems to react very poorly to.
Yeah, Sledgehammer doesn't have a good track record so far.
Yeah, so why can't you end the contract then?
That still doesn't solve the problem. It helps with solving the problem. Actually, no, it doesn't solve the problem, because then you only have 1 year in between your last game and the next game, just like we were. It's the same story we've been having since the beginning of COD, man. It's just something we're never gonna get out of.
Yeah. All right, so
You
with
have
that,
to realize it, though.
well,
Go ahead.
with all that said, I mean, at the end of the day, we're gonna have Black Ops 4 this year. We'll have the Infinity Ward game next year. But going forward, let's talk a little bit about the competitive scene, and then we'll finish up with Blackout. But competitive wise, game modes, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna have 3 game modes, 4 game modes? What do you think? Let's start there. And what game modes do you think they are?
From what I've heard right now, the pros seem to be thinking it's Hardpoint, S&D, and Control.
Control. Okay.
I'm not going to speak on Control because I haven't seen it played competitively. I'm not going to count 5v5 pubs because that does not count as competitive play whatsoever. I do think it could be interesting just because the lives dwindling down could be an interesting thing when it gets later in the game.
Yeah.
It can go from being a very fast-paced game to a very slow-paced game. But at the end of the day, it feels like I'm just playing a team deathmatch with a limited amount of lives.
Yeah,
So.
and they do not want team deathmatch in there. So I really hope they don't go the ghost route and just say you're playing Blitz, like what Blitz? They're playing Blitz, and then play it for about 2 events and realize it's crap, and just be like, well, we're still gonna play it. If they play Control and they have the first 2 events and it doesn't go well and it's a stalemate the whole game, then remove it. You can try something, but be willing to remove it, and be willing to change if it doesn't work.
So, I mean, I haven't played a whole lot of Overwatch, and so I don't really know a lot about it. But I feel like Control definitely feels like an Overwatch game mode. I mean, do you think COD is trying to copy Overwatch a little bit in this type of mode control and hope?
COD not trying to copy Overwatch.
Yeah.
They classes. That only 1 class per thing. Like, it's obviously going in that direction. That game mode does seem like an Overwatch game mode. I was scared you were gonna ask, should we add the Overwatch game mode?
No.
I was gonna say, no, please, no. That's not a terrible game mode. In my opinion.
Yeah.
No, I would say it's a little Overwatch-y, I guess. It's a similar, but it's definitely more of a COD game than an Overwatch game when it comes down to it, in my opinion.
I mean, do you hope then that because they are doing 5s and kind of going to the traditional esport player-wise with 5v5 that they're hoping more people come over to watch COD and maybe end up liking it?
If that wasn't your plan going to 5v5, what was your plan then? If your plan wasn't to draw more viewers by going 5v5 and trying to mix it with the casual scene as much as possible, the people that have been gone from COD playing other games now coming back to casual games, I don't know what their plan was.
To bring up something, do you think, or have we heard anything on the pick and bans?
Not that I know of.
I think the pick and ban system is a necessity. One, it's very entertaining to watch strategy played out in a pick and ban phase, and 2, it forces teams to adapt, and it forces teams to use things that they're not comfortable using.
Is there even a pick and ban phase in the game?
Yeah, well, not as a... I know in World War II they had like the pick and bans for maps and everything that they didn't have on stream, but...
See, I don't think you should have a pick and ban for maps. You should have a pick and ban for the weapons and guns and attachments and things like that.
Well, so would you pick and ban it? Well, I feel like they do attachments and guns like just in like the CWL rules. Why wouldn't you do bans of the specialists? That would be my thing. Is in League you ban champions, and granted, Call of Duty does not have a lot of characters currently.
Should they add more?
But it's possibility. I mean,
They will probably.
Let's say you have 3. Let's just say each team gets 3 bans per. And if they stick with Nomad and Recon being banned already, they have roughly 10 champions right now, or 10 characters.
I don't know the exact.
Like just
number,
roughly.
around that.
So now we're down to 8, and now you get to ban 3 other characters.
So why not have it so you can ban anything? So you can ban a gun, you can ban a character, you can ban a perk, you can ban an attachment. You can ban anything. Why doesn't that work?
There's not enough perks. Perks to get banned out so quick. Dead Silence banned.
Yeah.
I don't think they would. I don't think they would ban Dead Silence though.
But there'd be that. But think about that one person who bans it. Like it just ruins the whole S&D game if someone can't run S&D or run Dead. in my opinion, the pick ban phase, it was really fun to watch before, and it's my favorite part about League. But I don't want to see it come back. I think a pick stage, like obviously people are gonna have to pick for their specialists, but when it comes down to it, specialists in the game are made to be interchangeable. It's made to be something that you can switch out of your specialist onto another specialist at any point you want. If your team needs something different, you can switch over that. Sort of like Overwatch, which you can switch your character at any point. It's still sort of like that, and I like that part of it. I don't think banning any of them, especially with how limited it is, banning any of them is not going to be not going to help you. Especially with them already having 2 of them banned in the GB rules. Like, in my opinion, no. Pick and ban needs, like, I agree, it's fun to watch. There's not enough content in this game to be pick and ban. It needs to just be, here's what's banned, here's what it is, let's play. Like, just get it. Plus, it adds to tournament time. So much longer than tournaments are when you do pick and ban before each game. Like, I see what you're saying. It is more enjoyable, but it isn't where there's 100 some champions. There's 10 classes. There's, like we said, maybe 2 or 3 viable guns. We'll see when the patches go through.
Yeah. So if you ban those guns,
then everybody's running on secondary. I just don't think it's good. I don't think it's the right choice for this game. I mean, maybe they decide to go that route, but considering they don't have it in from the beginning, or at least I haven't seen any pick ban, I see it doubtful.
It's fair. With that said, let's kind of talk over. Let's just do since we are almost at about 35 minutes. Let's each go over our top 3 to 5 pro teams real fast, and then we'll jump over. We'll start with.
Let's do top 3.
Can we do a little different?
Yeah.
Can we do what team you think is going to be the best team coming out of the gate at the first event?
Okay.
What team you think is going to be the sleeper, and what team you think is going to be a dud? Because obviously, best 3, like we should all be saying Optic Optic and 100 T in that top 3. So let's mix it up a little bit. You know, who you think is going to be the best, or who you think is going to win the first event, or just who thinks is going to be the best? Who's going to be the sleeper, or what team are you sleeping on, and what team do you think is just going to be a dud from the lineups you see?
Fair enough. You want to start us off then, Kia?
I will give you this right off the bat, because this is what I'm going with. I just saw the EG lineup, and I'm taking them for my sleeper team. This game, such a small map. They're so sub heavy. In my opinion, if they can find a way to have like somebody run a steady AR in this team that's not royalty, we should. How do I put this? We should see one of the better sub-based teams that we possibly can out of this team if they perform. That's all I'm gonna say, because I mean they're relatively newly announced roster, and there are some questionable people on there. They all sort of came off rough years, so I'm not gonna say too much, but I can see them doing well. I'm going my favorite team, 100 T. They're my favorite. I think they're gonna be the best team of the year. That's mainly because I want them to be. Yeah, but enough said. They're obviously classified top 3. And my dud, who do I think is just not gonna do well this year? That's a tough one. It honestly is, because the more rosters I hear, the more I like them. So I guess if I had to go with one team that's a dud team, I'm going to go with Optic Gaming. They got 1v5 last night. It was not very cool, but they got 1v5, so they're my dud team for this. Their S&D does not look any better. Moving on.
Fair enough. Brandon, go for it.
All right. Let's go. Let's go with the disappointing team. I think E United could be the disappointing team.
That's actually a good one, yeah.
I just don't see JCap working with those 3, with Clay, or 3 meaning Clayster, Pristini, and Arcides, and we don't really know Abizi. They kind of just put some blind faith in him and hope that he picks it up on the big stage. I don't know. I just don't see how those 5 people can come together and create a powerhouse. I thought if they kept Fellow and brought on JCap, I think they could do something, but I don't know about a Bezzy or whatever that dude's name is. So I'm gonna have to go with disappointing team, E United. The best team I think is gonna be Red Reserve. And you guys might have not watched the last couple of games, but Scraps and Rated are like 2 of the best players in the world, and they added this guy named Vance, and I think that team will win the first event. I'm putting it right now. Red Reserve will win the first event. And my sleeper team has to be who's my sleeper team is FaZe Clan. All four of them stuck together, and they added Methods, who is a great AR player, and I think with Replay's leadership, they're gonna be a great team going forward.
All right. I mean, I can live with that. Dud team. I actually have FaZe Clan.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It could just be like personal opinion that I just don't like their players. It might just be that I just don't like FaZe really. I think that like I don't like Replays. I don't like Zuma. I think I just don't like them. I really don't.
You're passionate about this.
I think the team to beat is 100 Thieves also. Kenny Farrow, that's nasty. Then you have Slasher and Octane, two of the three best ARs in the game. And then Enable is just kind of that veteran presence.
IGL, dude. And game leader.
Yeah, I mean,
to go on that, Nate, I do think I'm there with you guys that I do think 100 Thieves is the best roster, but I don't know how they do the first event, and that's why I went with Red Reserve. I think 100 Thieves on paper is the best roster, but I think Red Reserve is going to win the first event. Continue.
Red Reserve's got a really solid roster too, though. Like that's not that bold of a prediction because they are definitely in my top 5. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and then we'll just go with the sleeper team of Luminosity. I do kind of like the team currently. I'm still just trying to find what their team is, but obviously Formal is he's still going to be Formal. They added Gunless to that mix. You still have Saints, or not Saints, Slacked. They could be a top 5 team. They could be a not even top 16 team. But that's going to be my sleeper pick with Luminosity. So let's wrap that up with multiplayer. Let's jump over to Blackout.
One more question?
Yes, go for it.
One more really quick, because I know Brandon touched this on the pre-show. And it sort of has to do with the franchising. With everything that happened to JCap and everything that's coming out about the JCap scenario, which if you aren't aware, I only read a little bit of it. Supposedly, JCap was trying to get off of his roster post-champs. It didn't seem like they wanted him off the roster, or that the roster change wasn't going to be made. And then it just sort of seemed like weeks later it came out of nowhere that, oh my God, you're off the team now. If you have any more to speak on that, if you know any more information, spit it out, please, because I want to.
Basically, yeah. So right after the season, JCap said to the LG owner, said, "I want to go to 100 Thieves." 100 Thieves wanted him. They basically the transfer didn't work out. Maybe money or something. Something didn't work out with the transfer. Then they told him they have faith in him. They're gonna keep him. And then right before that, I think they probably got Gunless.
Yeah, they brought on Gunless. Yeah,
they got Gunless, and they kind of right when they got Gunless, they're like, okay, JCap, we don't need you anymore. So that's kind of what I got out of it.
Yeah.
So with that scenario, do you think franchising would have helped that, or gone against that?
It would have gone against that.
So you think it would have worsened the situation if franchising would?
I think so. In that situation specifically, I think so.
And that's sort of the worry I think players have going forward, is that they'll have less control over their own contract and sort of their own career per se of what they want to do, of that sort of that old COD feeling of let's grab 3 buddies or now 4 buddies and make a team and just try to become the next big team because we're that good. Like
I
that
don't think
style of COD's going away.
I agree with franchising if we have the games in there multiple years. With the games changing every year, people are going to fall off, people are going to rise up, people are going to, there's going to be a lot of interchange.
It's organizations that are relevant. That's what franchising does, is it adds organization. So I mean, we already know 2 years are going to happen. Like my thing is, I think players are scared of franchising because of the fact that it gives owners more power over who's on the team. It's basically League of Legends at that point. Like you are on my team to play on my team. I am basically paying you to be here. You better play or I'm benching you. That's power orgs really have never had.
Like what we saw in League of Legends this past year is Echo Fox randomly drop 2 of their really good players and those two really good players had absolutely no time before roster lock to get on another team. And that was completely out of their hands. I'm all for players and players getting theirs, so I'm always on the player side.
Yeah. So with this JCap scenario, I do think it will make more players skeptical about this franchising. Though they don't really have a true say in it.
Yeah.
I do think that's sort of why players have been voicing their opinion. I don't say against franchising, but sort of they've been voicing their opinion strongly about franchising. Anyways, that's all I wanted to touch on before we move on, because that sort of was a big thing coming out this week.
Yeah, sounds good. I think that's going to kind of wrap up the multiplayer side of things and competitive. Let's jump over to the new game mode this year, Blackout. Initial impressions, Zach.
Initial impressions was a W to start it off, man.
Yeah, it was.
Game. That to me just set the tone for the year. Nate and I have been talking nonstop since the beta closed. How we don't really care about multiplayer. Could care less if I have a negative KDA. Could care less if I don't anything. I don't care if I die 0-26 in the multiplayer game. So all I care about is Blackout and how I'm doing in Blackout. And I've played like maybe 2 hours of Blackout. So something's wrong here. As soon as we're done here, I'm playing Blackout for like another 6 hours today. Like that's just what I want to do. But yeah, no, I love it. It's literally the graphics look so much better on my standard PS4 than they did in beta. The frame rate hasn't dropped noticeably yet. All the way around, I love it. The new guns they've added. I'm crazy on it, dude. I'm crazy on it.
Brandon, first impressions.
You guys know where I'm going with this, and I'm glad that Keo had that first strong impression. I like it. Let's put it that way. I am just not a fan of battle royale games. I just think overall they're just too slow playing. They're more about getting loot and survival. And I'm a COD kid at heart. That's why I like to just run around, get in gunfights, have many interactions. When I play pubs, I usually have upwards of 80 to interactions per game. Like that's what I like doing. So I'm always going to side with the multiplayer, and I will switch it up and go to Blackout for a little bit. But for me, in my ADD, I need a lot of interactions, and I just don't get that with battle royales. But I do think it's well put together, and it's a great game mode. It's just not for me.
Fair enough. I mean, I'd agree with Keo here. Our first win will be out in about an hour, so make sure to check that out. We will post when that goes up. But I would agree. I mean, I really enjoy Blackout. I do feel like it is a little bit slow at times, kind of how Brandon said, but like Keo said also, graphics are so much better. The gameplay still feels great, and it's just exciting to play. I was skeptical not having a campaign, but they really did a good job with Blackout and adding more weapons, the ability to unlock characters through doing different quests, and I think that was a good idea to do. But
that
again,
was the most exciting part for me so far was when
we found
that character.
Found the character note, and hopefully we get some more. Either tonight, Keo, we don't stop till you found one. You got one.
Apparently, if you pick up those armor shreds, like there's just random pieces of armor. If you pick up 3 of them in your inventory, you get like the ballistic dude. I unlocked him. I didn't know how I did it.
Wow.
I was thrilled. Yeah.
Interesting. Good to see some that just don't even know how you're doing it and you somehow get it. So that's cool. I didn't know that. But yeah, they did a lot of cool things with Blackout, and excited to what they did. Do you think there is a competitive scene for Blackout? Either one of you start.
I'll start, and I'll say if they try to force it on us like Fortnite, I think it will be better than Fortnite. And no, I do not think it will overtake a multiplayer.
Okay. Keo, go for it.
Is there... Sorry, what was the question again? Can you
do you think there will be a competitive scene for Blackout, whether it's small or large?
I know there is a competitive scene for Blackout. Why is that? Because Shroud, the Doc, Courage, people that are already playing battle royale games competitively love this game, and they're begging for more. And there's already a Doritos Bowl. Like this game, like if there's any sign of this going to be a competitive mode, it's they've already have it. Do I think it's going to overtake competitive or multiplayer, like standard multiplayer? That's the tough part, because multiplayer could take off. I feel like if one takes off, it benefits the other one no matter what. I don't think we're gonna see like pro players quitting CWL to go play Blackout.
Yeah.
By no means, but I do think there'll be a strong competitive side for it. I definitely don't think the money pool will be anywhere near like where it is for, let's say, Fortnite, or where it is for maybe like even COD champs, but it's already there. It's there. It's living, breathing. If this game didn't have a competitive side, it wouldn't last that long. Which I think in and of itself, the popularity for Blackout, if they keep changing things and adding things, will last much longer than multiplayer, in my opinion. I think people that are going to get bored of the multiplayer are going to still be playing Blackout long after.
So let's say there is a competitive scene for Blackout. Let's say that there are players like, they're not going to leave Fortnite, but let's say Tfue or some of the other top Fortnite, like Myth. Let's say Blackout starts to get players like that, right? Well, what happens if Infinity Ward doesn't have a battle royale? What happens to those kids? Do you think Blackout will continue to have competitive matches or not?
If Blackout is popular, then the next dev would be an idiot not to make it.
I Infinity Ward is already making theirs.
Yeah, exactly.
Already on there. If they aren't, then they better be making the best campaign Call of Duty has ever seen. Right? Like, if they're not giving us the battle royale, they better give us the best darn campaign, co-op campaign, whatever you want to call it. They better give us something else to replace it. If they don't, could Blackout just carry into next year? Yeah, I think by spring, Blackout will be its own game, purchasable by itself. I think Treyarch will try to support this game as long as it can, especially if they have any kind of microtransactions in there.
Yeah.
They'll support it until it is in the dust. 8 years from now.
I want to have a hot take right now.
Okay, throw it out.
My hot take is the pros don't care, or the Fortnite streamers are only happy about one thing. They don't have to play Fortnite anymore. They are happy something new and fresh is the player. They have to learn things. They like Blackout for two reasons. One, it's something new, and two, they don't have to play Fortnite. They don't have to stream Fortnite every day for the next year, and they have something new to look forward to. That's why I think these streamers are playing Blackout. I think they'll get bored of it, or they'll get sick of it, just like they do with Fortnite. They'll still play it, but I think in the back of their heads they'll get sick of it too.
So, let's say you have Tfue, Myth, Hamlet, like all these big Fortnite, Daquan, all these big Fortnite streamers go to Blackout. How long do you think Fortnite will eventually turn into PUBG and H1?
Yeah, it'll be nothing.
Do you think there's enough kids? Because let's be real, Fortnite appeals to the younger, like elementary school age. Like, I know parents that let their kids play Fortnite because it's cartoony and not violent. Do you think there's enough of a backing from the younger population where it would keep Fortnite higher up and running up there?
I think these 12-year-olds are all followers. They will go wherever Ninja, Courage, Lupo, all the top streamers, wherever they go, it's like whatever they say Fortnite's the best. It was the best. When they were playing H1Z1, it was the most played game. Whatever the streamers are playing, or whatever the 12-year-olds are going to be playing, because they can.
Because it's the best battle royale out at the time, if not the only one. PUBG. I mean, look at PUBG. This is my thing. Look at PUBG. It still has a competitive scene. It still has pro teams going for it. It still has a huge following. People like Shroud and the Doc that really didn't like Fortnite, right? So
right.
I don't think the comparison we should be making is Fortnite to Blackout. They're two different games. Though they're both battle royales, they're two very, very different games. Fortnite's very fast, and like you said, Blackout's much slower. I think you should be comparing PUBG to Blackout. I think Blackout will get all the PUBG people. Blackout's just fine. Like PUBG, it needs to be worried. They should be shaking in their boots, because Blackout is what's gonna wipe them off the face of the earth. Fortnite will be okay no matter what, in my opinion. Like you said, the younger audience is there. In people like Ninja and Myth and like these big streamers we're talking about coming over, I don't see them really ever making the conversion.
Yeah.
Like Fortnite will always have its viewers until something comes along that does what it does better, and that I think is not going to happen because that's a suable act.
Fortnite has all the Minecraft kids. All the little kids that love Minecraft love the building aspect of it.
Like I saw a Fortnite Monopoly today at work. Fortnite Monopoly, bro.
That's ridiculous.
Are they gonna release one every season? Because like the skins on the front of the box were already outdated. So, I mean, like that's the problem with me. Like for me with Fortnite is how fast they update it. Like things, like eventually you think that content creation is gonna slow down.
Yeah.
And so that to me is the only place where I'm worried about Fortnite, because I feel like that is another thing that draws a lot of people to it, is the content that they put out so frequently. And if that stops, maybe we do see them stop and stop being so interested in it. But I don't think we'll see that content stop until either Blackout is just 100% taken over, which it probably won't, or there's just nobody left playing Fortnite, which will be a long time from now. So I have no... Fortnite should not be worried too much. Ninja will come back to it after the whole Doritos Bowl thing, unless he just totally loves this game. Like the viewers are still Fortnite. People still want to watch Fortnite over watching Call of Duty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a more vibrant game. It's a more addictive game when it comes down to it, with all there is to do in it. But it's still the worst game.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's understandable how the game blew up. I mean, it was you got to build and all just kind of fun things that weren't involved in the other games, but for sure I'm not the biggest fan of Fortnite. It was fun for a couple days, but it got very repetitive and old very fast, at least for me.
Literally, I think I only saw you play it like a couple days.
Yeah, I mean, and
The reason I don't like Fortnite and COD's a little bit better, or the Blackout's a little bit better, is like you play these 20 to 30 minute battle royale games just to loot and get materials, just to have one gunfight. That's what I don't like about it.
yeah.
I can't. It's so hard to get over that for me. You do all these things in preparation for one gunfight or two gunfights, and for me, it's just.
I mean, sometimes, a lot of times, they aren't gunfights. They're just build-offs.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, don't get me wrong, can be super exciting. Watching two good people build off is super fun to watch, super entertaining to be like, how did he just edit his way out of that? But it's not a gunfight. It's a building competition, which at the end of the day is maybe entertaining for a little while to watch. But yeah, like you said, if every battle ends 50 stories in the sky, I mean, it's at the end of the day, that's not very fun to watch for me.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, it was the third person. I hate third person shooter. I cannot stand third person. I am a huge first person shooter, so I'm just happy to be back.
Yeah, I mean, being back on that first person is a lot more fun. Graphics are really good, and overall just an enjoyable experience. Currently, we are at 55 minutes.
Nice.
Ooh, look at that controller. That nice. Oh, that's pretty.
Is it ready to be used yet?
Is it? Is it plugged in?
It's calling my name, man.
All right.
It's
With that said, we are at just over 55 minutes now. Is there any last thing, Brandon, you wanna say about Black Ops 4?
For yourself and your participation in EShot? Anything at all?
Thanks for letting your biggest fan on. I will be hopefully returning. I'll also be hopefully starting up a new sports related podcast, maybe fantasy related, maybe other things as well. And you'll see a lot of me on social media, on streams, on videos.
Ooh, let's actually, I'm going to ask you about this. When can our viewers expect to see you live on Twitch?
I mean, your room's looking pretty clean, dude.
The webcam makes it so even if your room is messy, we don't know. We really
Tilt it
don't.
up a little bit. You're good to go.
Yeah,
Back to
just
your wall.
stream like that. Just stream the ceiling. Yeah. No,
But
I will
for real.
be. I am looking to start on Monday, with the latest being. I will be streaming League of Legends and Call, and also all my videos and podcasts as well.
And where can we find that at?
You can find all my updates on my Twitter at bclarktbe, spelled like it is, at bclarktbe, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And my YouTube is not. Oh, it is created, but I'm gonna wait a little bit to plug that.
You can find it in the link below.
Yep,
Yes.
all the links are updated below in the description, so just copy and paste or just click. Keo, last thing you want to say?
I am done talking. I'm ready to be playing.
All right, with that said, EShot Nation, thank you for watching episode 3, our Black Ops special. Thank you to Brandon B. Clark TBE for joining today. And until next time, go check out some of the streams. We will be live streaming tonight. And finally, Keo and myself's first win on Blackout will be up in just about an hour, so make sure to click that watch, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you all in the next episode of EShot.